The magic of GLSL. Overview of GLSL. Every Three.js app you see that uses the WebGL renderer uses GLSL to do two fundamental things. Move the vertices of each mesh from the modelled location to the position they need to be after moving and projecting the mesh. Set the colour for each pixel in the rendered view. It does this by splitting the task up into a vertex shader and a fragment shader. A fragment for our purposes can be interpreted as a pixel. GLSL has a syntax similar to the C programming language. Unlike JavaScript, it is a language that is described as strongly typed. Each variable must be given a type. You create a variable by defining the type and providing a variable name. GLSL is designed to run on the GPU, and depending on your graphics hardware, for each frame you render, you might be running dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of instances of your scripts simultaneously. This has some important implications. 1. The code runs blisteringly fast. 2. Each vertex knows nothing about the location of another vertex. The code must work independently. 3. Each fragment knows nothing about other fragments. Again, the code must work independently. If you're used to working with pixels in a for loop for the x values and a for loop for the y values, think again. Suppose we're currently calculating the colour to display for the pixel at screen location 6080. Don't assume that the pixel at 5980 has already been calculated. The language has some terrific shortcuts for working with vectors. You can create a floating point vector with 3 values using vec3v equals vec3 1.0. Why the single parameter? That's because the code will automatically create a vector where each of the 3 values is set to 1.0. Neat! You can even use vec3v equals vec3 vec2 2.0 1.0. Now the vector v will have the value 2.0 2.0 1.0. A vec2 value will be created with values 2.0 2.0, and then this will be combined with 1.0 to create the vec3 instance. All possible combination of vectors and floats can be used to create the vec3 instance. GLSL has a series of matrix types mat2, mat3 and mat4 for 2x2, 3x3 and 4x4 matrices respectively. If M is a mat3 type, then you can multiply V by this matrix using just the code V1 equals M times V. Often you will use a 4x4 matrix and yet have a vec3 vector. If this is the case, then you can easily bounce the vector up to a homogeneous coordinate. This is just a posh way of adding an additional dimension to a vector. Suppose uppercase M is a 4x4 matrix and V is a vec3 value, then this code would generate an error. V1 equals M times V. Instead use V1 equals M times vec4 V 1.0 dot xyz. We first bounce V up to a vec4, then multiply by M, then strip off just the XYZ channels using .xyz. I told you GLSL has some great ways of manipulating vectors. GLSL has several useful functions. Let's consider just 3 of them. Clamp takes 3 parameters: x, minimum value, maximum value. The return value will be x, clamped between min and max. If x is less than min, then min will be returned. And if x is greater than max, then max will be returned. Mix also takes 3 parameters, a, b, delta. The return value will be a times 1.0 minus delta plus b times delta. If delta is 0, then a is returned. If delta is 1.0, then b is returned. Between 0 and 1, an interpolation of a and b is returned. A and b could be vectors. They do not have to be just scalar values, but they do have to have the same type. The last function we'll consider is step. This takes just 2 parameters, an edge value and a test value. If test is less than edge, then 0 is returned. Otherwise, 1.0 is returned. GLSL is very picky about semicolons. Mix one out and the shader code will not compile. Vertex shaders are always completed before the fragment shader, and we can pass values from the vertex shader to the fragment shader. These values are known as variants because their value in the fragment shader is interpolated. Suppose the pixel we're considering is in the middle of a triangle, then if we pass the vertex position as a variant value, then the value in the fragment shader will be an interpolation of the 3 vertex positions for this triangle based on the fragment position. Anyway, enough theory. Show me an example, I hear you say.